Well, again, thank you for joining us for part 2 of our Advent study entitled Say Yes. We've talked about how Mary has gone to visit her cousin Elizabeth, who has by now delivered her child, John, and now Mary is returning home to her own village in Nazareth. You know, the Advent season should be a season of hope and positive expectation. Yet, because of their life experiences, many people feel hopelessness and negativity in their future outlook. Many of these life experiences involve the words and the action of other people. Let us reflect on the words of the song below. The song is entitled When People Are Cruel, and we believe that Mary anticipated people were going to be cruel to her once she shared this information with them about her miraculous pregnancy. And we can relate because we know by our own experiences how people have been cruel to us when we have shared certain things about our lives to them. Listen to this. When people are cruel and words are malicious, bless us with friends who will listen and care. When tongues strip us naked and lash us and whip us, clothe us with friendships that show that you're there. When gossip condemns us without a fair hearing, bless us with friends who stay far from the game. When lies are let loose just to linger and fester, guard us with friends who with truth will clear our name. If false friends grow wary and keep to their distance, bless us with friends who will feel what we feel, who hold us with honesty tempered with kindness, friends who've been hurt yet who know that you heal. O Lord of the cross and the taunts and the spitting, left by your friends in the hour of your need, our prayers have no answer if we too are fickle. Christ, make us friends who show friendships indeed. And many of you have lived through the experience of being ridiculed and being forsaken by people that you held dear, forsaken because of what you have shared with them, or forsaken because of the turn that your life took, or because what happened in your existence. And you've also experienced the loving presence of God. The presence of God through the power of the Holy Spirit, as well as through other people. And I thank God that God works through people. So let us not be weary. Let us not give a second thought whether or not we want to continue to say yes to the will of God. Our answer is still yes, no matter what other people will say, because we know whatever mission and purpose and task God gives us, God will fully equip and sustain us. Well, let's head to the conclusion of this lesson. Let's see what else goes on with Mary. In Luke chapter 1, verse 42, Elizabeth declares Mary to be truly blessed by God because she believed the events would turn out in the way God had said. But what exactly did that blessing involve? The bits of Mary's story that Luke shares with us do not show a life of ease where every month was May. You see, walking with God brings Mary a lot of pain. Let's review the evidence. After returning home, Luke takes up Mary's story with that precarious, uncomfortable journey to Bethlehem. Remember, they had to travel to Bethlehem for the census. And that ill-attended birth in a borrowed shed, devoid of family support and lacking in any sign of delight. The only visitors who welcomed the child are a clutch of unknown, ill-at-ease, and probably rather smelly shepherds with wild tales of angels and heavenly choirs. Mary may have stored it all up in her heart, but surely it cannot have been how she had always imagined motherhood would be. I'm sure Mary did not expect to give birth to this miraculous child in a stable, surrounded by animals. But yet, this is exactly what occurred. And it was a part of her saying yes. 8 days later, in the tradition of the Jewish people, Luke shows us Joseph and Mary dedicating the baby Jesus in the great temple in Jerusalem. That's in chapter 2, verses 22 through 38. And we see the greetings of Simeon and Anna were kind and very well meant, but their prophecies regarding the Christ child was not so much reassuring as unsettling. They emphasized the ways in which this was God's child and almost ignored the ways that this was Mary's child. Remember that old episode of I Love Lucy when Lucy gave birth to little Ricky? And all of a sudden, all of the attention was shifted from Lucy to the baby, to the point Lucy felt left out and she felt lonely. She felt neglected. And you can imagine Mary feeling this way as Simeon and Anna went on and on prophesying about the baby and what his life would be. Well, we next hear of Mary when Jesus is about 12 years old in Luke chapter 2, verses 41 through 52. The family has traveled with others to Jerusalem for the feast of the Passover. One day's journey out from the city, on the way home, Mary and Joseph had one of those moments all parents dread. I thought he was with you. No, I was sure he was with you. They rushed back to Jerusalem and spent 3 long days and 3 anxious, sleepless nights searching the likely and the unlikely parts of the city before they finally find Jesus holding court with the elders in the temple. And there can't have been much reassurance or comfort in their son's greeting. He says, "Why were you searching for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" Let's take a quick break and we'll conclude this.